Welcome to a new planetary and seismic update. Contrary to what I said in the previous update, we have signs that there may be a larger earthquake coming up. Yesterday afternoon we recorded a large atmospheric fluctuation. As you can see here, this is the atmospheric charge. You can look up this graph also on our website. From approximately 1400 to 1900 hours, we see this huge M-shaped form, and that is typical for a potential larger seismic event. Based on this fluctuation, we estimate that the most likely regions are in the West Pacific, from northeastern China in the north, down along the Philippines, over the eastern part of Indonesia, that's near New Guinea, and also to the south below Australia and south of New Zealand. This is near the Mercury Islands. This is a very large atmospheric fluctuation, and I reconsidered the planetary geometry that I discussed in the previous update. As you can see, on the 22nd we had Mars, Mercury and Jupiter in a conjunction, and 3 days later, down to the minute, we have Venus, the Sun and Mars in a conjunction. This is not a convergence. I also wouldn't call it a near convergence, but it is close. And in addition, we have some geometry with the Moon involving Mercury, Venus and Saturn. I marked that with the green lines, and as you can see, Earth is very close to these green lines. Now, I think back to the time in August, the second half of August, when I discussed the critical lunar geometry that we had with Mars and Neptune. And you may recall that I said that sometimes, like in 1957, we had a big earthquake, 8.5, 8.6 magnitude, within 4 weeks of that specific geometry. This planetary geometry could be the trigger. It very much depends on the stress levels in Earth's crust, and we need a large fault section to have reached the tipping point. And if that is the case, this geometry can be the trigger, but it must also be seen in light of the very critical lunar geometry that we had with Mars and Neptune on 26 August. You may want to look up those updates there. I discussed the geometry in detail, and I also mentioned those 4 weeks, which would be similar to what happened in 1957 when a magnitude 8.6 occurred in the North Pacific at the Red Islands, if I think correctly here. So we have this huge atmospheric peak. This should be considered a serious sign of a potential larger earthquake. 7.5 or larger is very well possible with a fluctuation like this. And again, the regions over the West Pacific, this is an approximation. As you can see, the fluctuation is about 4 or 5 hours wide, and if we are off by 1 hour, that may be a difference to the west or to the east of the marked areas here. So again, it is an approximation, and we can be off. But if a larger earthquake occurs, as indicated by the atmosphere, most likely it will be in or near these regions. So this is a very different update than what I discussed in the previous update. And as you can see, if new signs, new developments come in, the forecast may change considerably. This is the update for now. Check out the website for the latest updates and also our social media channels where we post the latest updates, the latest developments. Stay safe. Until next time.